Nigeria is a disgrace. The whole thing is a disgrace. They're killing people by the thousands. It's a genocide, and I'm really angry about it. And we pay, we give a lot of subsidy to Nigeria. We're going to end up stopping. The government's done nothing. They're very ineffective. They're killing Christians at will. And, until I got involved in it 2 weeks ago, nobody even talked about it. The New York Times doesn't write stories about it.
President Trump.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the amazing Nigerian Perspective live stream. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful day. If you just woke up, I hope you woke up on the right side of the bed. If you're about to head to work, I hope you are energetic, ready to attack the day. If today is this is the middle of the day for you, I hope work has been great. I hope you have been having a blast today. If you've not been having a blast today, where you're in the right place, okay? Here we try to ensure that everyone has a good time. Doesn't matter what time you are joining, whether you're joining in the morning, afternoon, or evening, we try to ensure that everybody has a good time. Trust me, that I have a reputation for such things, okay? And good evening. If you are watching us in the evening, I hope your day has been great. I hope you are resting well. I hope you had a fantastic day. And if you are trying to unwind, this is the perfect place. We unwind with just good news only. In fact, we have good news for you today. Very great, fantastic, amazing, exceptional news, okay? And we are going to dive into that shortly. But I want to welcome you. I hope you guys have been having a blast. I hope today has been awesome. And if it is just starting for you, I know today is going to be awesome. In fact, I declare to your day that it will be awesome. It will be filled with God's grace, God's mercy, God's favor. And if you're just rounding up for today, well, congratulations. I hope you had everything you wanted. And tonight is going to be an amazing night for all of us, okay? Doesn't matter where you are. Whether you are in a place like Nigeria, riddled with insecurity, or you are wherever you find yourself, okay? God is good, and he's good all the time. I want to start having my live streams like this with, happiness and joy and, brightness, okay? Before we get into things that try to steal our joy, okay? And we have good news. Actually, we do have good news for us. But before we get into that, please, guys, I want you all to smash that like button, okay? Destroy the like button. There are 12 of us on the live stream right now, and I want 12 of us to hit the like button, okay? Smash the like button. Destroy the like button. We are going to have an amazing live stream, and I hope you guys are with me. We don't have so many people with us, but we are going to have so many people moving before we get to the end of the live stream. Whatever it is, okay, I am always here. Even if I have one person, even if it's John, my able moderator who is watching me, I'll be speaking to him, and he's never tired of hearing my voice. That's the great thing about John, okay? So please, guys, smash that like button, destroy the like button, share the link, okay? If you are somebody who usually share the link, share it to your friends, your family, share it to everyone, okay? Let them know that we are live and we are ready to rumble. We're ready to talk about interesting stories. Share that link. Another thing that I'm going to kind of give by way of announcement is I'm going to try, usually I just sit back and say, well, if people, let me be noticed instead of trying to put myself out there. But somehow I feel this kind of responsibility to, I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I'm going to try. Okay, so this week, I'm going to try to reach out to people who I have contacted in the past, who I've done shows with in the past, to see if they will have opportunity to want to create maybe a live stream or an interview where we get to talk about what is happening in Nigeria. I'll be reaching out to a couple of them. I'll, of course, try to reach. The truth is, I'm not, these days, I'm the worst when it comes to reaching out to people. I don't know why. But I went from being the best in trying to reach out to people to being the worst. I went from that. I just wake up and please, I just want to do my show. I just want to do my live stream and just move on. Why do I need to contact other creators? Why do I need to contact other YouTubers? I get messages, countless of my fans are like, why don't you contact this? Why don't you collaborate? And I'm like, I'm fine with just doing it by myself, having people who want to hear my voice and stuff like that. But I'm going to try and reach out to people. I'm going to try. I have David Wood's contact, even though I've only contacted him twice. The first time I got a response. The second time I did not. And I was like, let me not disturb the man. Maybe he has a lot on his plate. So I didn't contact him again. I have other people's contacts. Some of them you know, some of them you don't know. And I'll just, just humbly try to request, okay, if you guys can, I'll try it. It's not something that I'm comfortable doing, but I will just give it a try. I'm just letting you guys know that I will try it. So in case it works out, you know that, I try to reach out to some people. If it doesn't, I still try to reach out to some people. Like people will stop sending me, reach out to this guy. Maybe if I appear on 2-3 shows that you guys are familiar with, I will stop getting the request to reach out to people, So there is that. But for the good news, okay? The good news is that 38 people who were kidnapped last week in the Kwara State Church, Christ Apostolic Church, Kwara State, Iruko, Kwara State. The 38 persons that were kidnapped have been released. Now, the government said they rescued them. Some news outlets said they were released. But we'll look into that. That's the first news story we'll look into. Or the second. The first also good news that we got from Christian Association of Nigeria in Niger State is that 50 students that were kidnapped in the Catholic church, in the Catholic school, Catholic boarding school in Niger State, 50 of them, of the over 300 and something that were kidnapped, 50 of them have managed to escape. Now, there are still some vague details about what happened, and the clarification is yet, we are not yet clarified of what really happened. But what we've gotten from the Christian Association of Nigeria is that 50 persons have been released, or not released, have escaped. So we'll look at all of that. That's good news. That's cause for celebration. Okay, when I was in church on Sunday, we prayed about this, and seeing this news is like an answer to prayer. I am really grateful that those people have been released. It is unthinkable to imagine what happened to these people when they are held captive like this, and what their captors may do to them. It's really unthinkable, and it is always good to see that these people have been released. So I really, really thank God. I give glory to God. And even though I don't know the details of what the government did, and there are so many suspicions, for whatever it is that they did, I want to give little credit, okay? That credit, I'm about to take it back, but for this moment of celebration, for this celebratory moment that I'm in right now, I want to give small kudos to the Nigerian government for doing whatever it is that they did to get these 38 persons released, okay? I'm grateful. I thank God. I am grateful to God that this is happening, or this has happened. Granted, this is not supposed to even happen in the first place. People are not supposed to be taken away from their place of worship just like that. It's unbecoming. This should not be happening, but it did happen. And we thank God that at the end of the day, it didn't end up that these people had to stay for long in captivity. You may not know this, but they kidnapped people as young as 6, 7, and as old as 67, 68 in the Kwara State kidnap. These were young and old, elderly people, the ones who could not run away. Those are the people that we are abducted. So I am grateful to God that these people have been released. Okay, it is really something to be grateful for. And I thank God. I thank God for that, right? But moving away from that, there are questions that need to be answered. Okay, with regards to the so-called release or rescue of these people. Let's listen to the news stories as they report on what happened. Let's listen to news stories on this. So first thing we are going to read the tweets from the president of Nigeria, because the news broke by tweets of the president. Tinubu was like, I can do the same thing Trump does. I can announce something official via tweet. So he did that, and we are going to start with that. So here is the tweet from the president of Nigeria. You can see it, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, official ABAT. Okay, my fellow Nigerians, you will recall that I cancelled my trip to the G20 summit in South Africa to enable me coordinate this security effort at home. Thanks to the efforts of our security forces over the last few days, all the 38 worshippers abducted in Iruko, Kwara State have been rescued. I am equally happy that 51 out of the missing students of the Catholic Church in Niger State have been recovered. I am closely monitoring the security situation nationwide and receive continuous updates from the front line of Aso Rock, of course, from the front line of the country's capital. Okay, he's at the front line in the country's capital, not at the front line in Niger or Kwara or Kaduna or Zamfara or Benue. No, he's in the front line of Abuja, receiving headlines. I am closely monitoring the security situation nationwide and receiving continuous updates from the front line. Let me be clear, I will not relent. Every Nigerian in every state has the right to safety. And under my watch, we will secure this nation and protect our people. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that is the announcement from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And this is the report from TVC. This is a network in Nigeria. And this is how they reported it. They had the governor. Sorry, it's not loading. We'll give it a moment. So they had the governor go to receive these people as they were being released. I think this happened on Sunday. This is Governor Abdurrazak of Kwara State. And the whole thing is so funny. This is the part of the news where it goes from, I'm happy this is happening and this is kind of ridiculous, okay? Just watch it and you'll see the ridiculousness. So here he is walking. These are the people who were rescued, and here he is waving, looking at them, essentially posing for the camera. That's essentially what he's doing here. He's just posing for the camera, looking at the victims, acting like he's their father. I don't even know, this is the kind of thing that I see in the news, and I'm like, what is the point of this exactly? What are they trying to do with it? This is just another photo operation. Catch us, here we are caring for our people. Look, you see the government is working. Alhamdulillah, we are taking their vitals right now. And these are the people that we are abducted. Thank God they have been rescued. As you can see, the government is taking photo ops. This whole thing just looks ridiculous to me. I cannot just unsee the ridiculousness or ignore it. It's just ridiculous. So there they are, talking to the and let's get to the part where they start.
Superintendent, we are so glad. The church and the authority of the church, even the regional superintendent, we are so glad to see our people back live, and we appreciate the governor of the state. We appreciate everybody for this great job. One of the authorities of the welcoming. We thank God of Christ Apostolic Church.
Well, on behalf of the government and people of Kwara State, we thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his hands-on approach to bringing them back home. And you can see he did not go to the G20 just to pay attention to this, and we can't say much until they're debriefed. And the security agencies, we thank them a lot. The director of DSS was directly in the field, leading from the front. Thank the National Security Advisor. All the agencies coordinated properly in having this done. You can see that within a short period they were out. Now, it's not time to celebrate yet because we still have the issues of Kebbi and Niger, and that will be it's something we'll overcome. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, so we can hear that from the governor, basically regurgitating the same thing that repeating the same thing that the president said in that tweet. But essentially, everybody is grateful and all, praise be to God and to the Nigerian state government or to the federal government of Nigeria. But the question now is, were these people rescued or were they released? Because this operation that led to the, I want us to read this news house that just reported this news. I want us to read their publication, what they publish. We are seeing what is being said. Let's see what has been written by the press. This is what we know based on what has been written by the press. Let's just see the details and everything concerning this news. So here is a news headline from TVC, the people whose channel we just finished watching. And they say, how Tinubu orchestrated rescue of 38 abducted Kwara worshippers. The successful rescue of 38 abducted worshippers from Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku, in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State was driven largely by President Bola Tinubu's direct coordination of the security response. According to credible security sources, gunmen armed with AK-47 rifles, whatever. Okay, The successful rescue of all 38 abducted worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church in blah, blah, blah. It was largely, okay. Gunmen armed with AK-47 rifle has stormed the church during a service last Wednesday, firing repeatedly at worshippers. The attack inadvertently streamed live, left 2 people dead and several others injured before the assailants escaped into the forest with 38 hostages, drawing widespread national and international outrage. Senior security officers said President Tinubu immediately assumed personal oversight of the situation, receiving constant briefings and reviewing I'm laughing because I know this is not true, but it's all good. Senior security officer said President Tinubu immediately assumed personal oversight of the situation, receiving constant briefings, reviewing operational options, and insisting on decisive action amid criticism that his administration was not adequately protecting Christian and non-Christian communities. His hands-on involvement reportedly spurred an extensive intelligence operation. Sorry, guys. You will not understand why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I don't believe a word that is coming out from this report. TVC is a publication owned by the president. You may not know this, but TVC is a news house owned by the Nigerian government. Not the Nigerian government, but the current sitting president is the owner of this news station. So keep that in mind. His hands-on involvement reportedly spurred an extensive intelligence operation led by the Office of the National Security Advisor, which deployed advanced mapping technology and aerial surveillance to track the kidnappers. Okay? This effort eventually identified their hideout in the Igbo forest in this local government area. The president subsequently approved a joint DSS Air Force raid carried out on Sunday. The operation, launched at about 3:20 p.m., resulted in the safe recovery of all hostages. It remains unclear whether the kidnappers fled before the assailant or were neutralized, as operational details remain classified. I like that. You know what I like about this? These people are fantastic. It is one thing about the Nigerian government, this kind of report. Very fantastic. I mean, they could tell that the president was the one who was on top of the situation. He was receiving briefing, he was receiving operational options, he was insisting on decisive action, he was doing all of that. You know, they were monitoring the situation. They deployed advanced mapping technology and aerial surveillance to track the kidnappers, okay? And the efforts, you know, they were able to identify them. This is the exact location where they were identified. We could tell all of that. Look at all the detail that they are giving out, okay? They're giving out all these fantastic, awesome details, even the time of the operation and everything. But one thing they cannot tell you is if the assailants, if they were neutralized or if they fled. Isn't that interesting? I know I'm sounding a bit like Candice Owens, but don't you think that is interesting? Look at all the details. They're giving you time, location, the people who were on top of the situation, the decisions that were being made, how all of it is being spearheaded by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I can imagine Bola Ahmed Tinubu right now. He was in the situation room. There was maps. There were like screens. There were like this people were just like backing orders at each other. President Tinubu was like, yeah, you go left, you go right. I'm on top of this. We must get them now. He was probably banging tables and people could feel the tension. The president, frail and old as he was on top of the situation, commanding and giving orders. He was ready for action. He wanted things to be done, and everyone could feel the urgency, the seriousness, the hands-on approach, right? And all these awesome details are being revealed. Like, this is the exact time of the attack. These are the people who were involved. It was a joint DSS Air Force raid and everything. What remains is for them to even tell us the officers involved, all their names, their ranks, everything, right? They have all these details to give out, but they can't tell us if the assailants were neutralized, arrested, or if they fled. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Security sources also pointed out that the Iroko area have suffered similar attacks in the past, including a June incident where gunmen killed 2 policemen and adopted Chinese workers at a nearby marble site. A breakdown of the rescued victims showed 26 females and 12 males aged between 5 and 67 years. They include a 5-year-old, children aged 6 and 9, 2 10-year-old, 3 preteens, 4 teenagers, and adults ranging from their 20s to late 50s. Oh, this is all the information we have. We even have the age and the everything. In fact, what remains for them to tell us the name of the victims? They could tell us the age, their names, everything. You see, I'm just giving you how much details. I'm just showing you how much details this news report is revealing, and yet how much they don't know. For people who know so much, it's interesting what they don't know. You know, like, did the assailant flee, or were they neutralized, or were they arrested? We don't know anything about that. And that has led to kind of the theory, the conspiracy theory, that they were not rescued, that they were released, that the government may have paid ransom for their release. Now, we don't know how true that is, but that is the theory. And I will not be surprised if that happened to be true, because this is in line with what we know the Nigerian government to be able to do. So it's kind of like the theory that has fled. Like, we really need a report on what actually happened. How did the operation, how was it conducted? What happened to the assailant? Did they flee, or were they neutralized? Were they killed? We need to know that. Don't just tell us, oh, we went into this bush at around 3:20 p.m. and we were ready to go and we rescued them. I mean, why leave out if the assailants were killed or if they fled? I mean, it's an important detail. Let's just show how hands-on Tinubu was on the matter. So that is the huge question. Were they rescued or were they released? And now I want to hear from the victim. And I want you guys, we are going to listen. One of the victims was interviewed. And I want you to listen to how the interview went, because I think it is interesting how that interview went. Now, I know I'm sounding a bit like Candace Owens, but bear with me. Sometimes some things warrant just a little suspicion, a little conspiratorial mindset. It won't hurt anybody. It's just where you go too far. Just where you go too far, therein lies the problem. So let me fast forward to the part where they interviewed one of the people that were abducted. Let's get to that point. Okay, here it is.
And a terrifying act, because that evening, after like 30 minutes to the program, we started the program by, I think, around 5. Mm-hmm. So like 30 minutes to the program, after all the praises, we just heard gunshot. Even to my own perspective, I didn't know it was gunshot. I think it was just sparkling of some wire. But by the time we get, they surrounded the whole church. Even some people, they begin to narrate that they are seeing drop of blood everywhere.
Now, from that Tuesday to today, when you are released, what is the situation?
So he just explained how the incident happened, how they were in church, and 5 minutes into the service, they started hearing gunshots, and people, they said they started seeing blood on the floor and stuff like that, because some of the worshippers were shot, and it was terrifying and all whatnot. So he was explaining how the whole thing happened. And now they are back to ask him how the situation was, how it was for them, being abducted. What was the condition like? For him to explain what it was like.
Right there inside the bush.
It was unimaginable, because when we got there, we really know that it was a dominated area by these evil people called bandits. Even they have the courage to tell themselves that we are bandits, and they make us to know that there's no one that can just slip away without being caught. And with what we see, nobody can escape. From that place they have dominated. They've knew all the routes surrounding all those bushes within Kwara and other states.
So there is a part that they did not allow to play. But the clip of this, the portion of this that I saw on Twitter, they kind of ended the interview there, and it looks like that was where it ended. But if you watch the part on Twitter, you see that after he gave that description of how the area was, he said that place was the area where they were taken to was dominated by these bandits or these terrorists. They dominated the area. They understood the routes. They were completely in control. They dominated the area. Keep that in mind. He said they dominated the area. They had their full presence in the area. That's what he said. Now, in the clip I saw on Twitter of this is from YouTube. This is from Channels TV on YouTube. But the clip that I saw on Twitter, while he was being interviewed, you could hear a voice from the behind saying, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay." And they just knew the interview was over. So there was somebody telling them, "You can no longer continue to interview this person." And I was like, I would like them to get to the point where they ask him, "How was the rescue operation like? How was it like being rescued? Can you tell us more about that?" You know, it is important. And I'm telling you, I will not be surprised if the government go to great lengths to prevent these victims who have just been rescued from speaking to the press. I will not be surprised if they do that. Okay? I will not be interviewed if they do that. There's a report that I have seen of governors from other states doing something similar, preventing journalists from getting access to certain areas and interviewing certain people. Here is an example of that. So I'm just using that to demonstrate to us as we are looking at this and watching this, that you can see the secretive nature of this whole thing and how much the government is not telling the world and the people they are governing, the Nigerians like myself, how they are not telling what they are not telling us and what they are holding from us.
My name is
back.
No, I want it. My name is Luca Binyat. I am basically a conflict reporter.
Okay.
I write for Truth Nigeria. Where I am right now, it's a village, once very prosperous village that belongs to the Adara ethnic nationality, who are basically Christians. The name of this place is called Kujeni and is in Kajuru County in Kaduna State. This place is part of the Middle Belt because they identify as the ethnic Christians of northern Nigeria, all in the Middle Belt. It is impossible to imagine the life that was here. These people have been living here peacefully for centuries. And around me, though you could see some ruins still standing, this used to be a very dense community, highly populated with schools, with churches, with playgrounds, and everything that will make a village community happy. But today, you won't believe that there were ever structures here. What the villagers do now, after they have been chased out severally, until they could no longer hold to defend themselves, they had to leave the village. The ones that you may be seeing around just come around to tend to the farm produce that they farm during the rainy season. Luckily for them, the Fulani herdsmen, who have been their perpetual tormentors, have not eaten up these crops like we have seen in other places. This Kujeni is about 80 miles southwest of Kaduna metropolis. It is now an empty space. And it's not only this place. Coming here is quite a big security challenge. We had to pass through a lot of military checkpoints on the way. And we had to persuade them to leave us. But apart from that, there are many other communities. In fact, from what have been listed to us, there are over 52 of these communities. And they include Kujeni Duse, Kwakwari, Kakuku, Ongwom Fuda, Ongwom Madaki, Ongwom Barde. I've been to Ongwom Barde. It was the first place that the Fulanis launched attack in 2019 and killed 11 people. The place has been sacked now. There's also Jindingada, there's Itisi, there's even Ivanaturu, among many others. These are largely Christian communities that have been displaced. We heard that, of course, it's true, that the governor of Kaduna State, Ubasani, had granted these bandits, these Fulani herdsmen, the armed militia of the Fulani wing, what he calls state pardon and amnesty, and in fact integrated them into society by rehabilitating them, including complete Medicare for the repentant, so-called repentant
bandits.
But as villagers will tell us, there's nothing like repentance among them because they have not been able to return to their homes. Almost 2 years since Governor Basani granted them that amnesty. So the villagers are very excited with the announcement by Trump that Nigeria is now a country of concern. So I have come here to make on-the-spot assessment. If it is true what government have been claiming, that the amnesty granted the bandits has resulted to the return of displaced villagers. There is nothing like that. There is no welfare for them. There is still no sufficient security for them. In fact, as we go around, you'll be hearing it from the horses' mouth themselves. Let us move.
All right. I don't think this is the clip. This is super funny. They say, watch government bars journalists from visiting villages left by bandits amid. This is according to reports, but this video does not even hold that report, which is interesting. I didn't even watch the video. I just saw this and I said, oh, Sahara reporters, they will have shown something like that, but nothing like that was even said here. But I will not be surprised if that is what is happening with the video we just saw. Let me see if I can pull up the clip of this from let me see if I can pull up the clip of this from Twitter. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find the Twitter clip. Because when I saw that clip on Twitter, it was different. That's the clip of the guy, the victim of the kidnapping that I just saw. When I saw that on Twitter, it kind of ended differently. So here, okay, this is from TVC, not from Channels News. So this is how it ended with TVC. I want us to get to the end. Not here. Somewhere around. Maybe somewhere around here. Okay, yeah, somewhere around there. Let me increase the volume.
They knew all the routes surrounding all those bushes, Kwara and other states.
Thank you. What can you say about the feeling there? It's okay. Thank you.
You could hear it. You could hear it, right? He was saying, what can you say about the village? Somebody still had questions. You could hear people say, it's okay, thank you, it's okay. Let me play it again so you guys can hear it.
States.
Thank you. What can you say about the feeling there? It's okay. Thank you.
You could hear somebody say, it's okay, thank you. So I just wanted us to get that part. I even see somebody in the comments on Twitter could point it out, say Nigerian journalists are too lazy, too scared to do real probing. So nobody could boldly ask him the simplest question: was it truly a rescue or a release? Which is a very important question that needed to be asked, but they couldn't get the opportunity to ask it because people around, hey, it's okay. That's all the questions you guys can take from now. So these are kind of like, things that you see happening with regards to this report that makes you, question what is really going on. Let us really know exactly what happened. But yeah, that is the report. And here is another thing that is also making people believe that that these bandits were probably paid, okay, and these people were not rescued.
3 service chiefs that served in Kaduna under my watch. One of them is still at.
This is the former governor. What we're about to watch is from the former governor of Kaduna State. Now, this is somebody who I'm not a fan of, okay? I need to put it out there. This man that we're about to watch is a very wicked man, okay? Nasri El-Rufai is a very, 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 very wicked man, okay? If you are calling wicked men, this short human being, very wicked, okay? Many of the killings of Christians that happened in Kaduna, in southern Kaduna, yeah, somebody even pointed it out in the comments. He's the butcher of Kaduna, okay? Very wicked man. Very wicked man. Many of the killings that happened in Kaduna against Christians in southern Kaduna happened while he was governor. He was governor of Kaduna for 8 years. And under his 8-year governorship, it was horrible for Christians in Kaduna. So that needs to be, we need to put that in perspective. But what he's saying here is important to note, because this is somebody who is in the government and who knows what was happening and all the things surrounding security in Nigeria, especially when he's the former governor of a state that has been riddled with serious insecurity. And I want us to pay attention to what he's about to say, because it is very important in this conversation for us to understand if these people were actually rescued or if they were released because ransom has been paid. Now listen to what El-Rufai is saying here.
And you can ask 3 service chiefs that served in Kaduna under my watch. One of them is still alive. Farouk Yahya was chief of army staff. He was GOC in Kaduna. I saw him yesterday at a wedding. You can call him, bring him to this program and ask him what we did. What I will not do, okay, is to pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them.
What he's claiming here is that there are people that is the federal government policy with dealing with bandits, was to pay them ransom, give them monthly allowance, and send food to them. That's why he's saying, I will not do such a thing. But the federal government was doing it. That's what he's trying to say here.
The name of non-kinetic is nonsense. We are empowering bandits. It's not the government of Kaduna State. It's a national policy driven by the Office of National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting to that, but that is the policy now. Kiss the bandits. That's the new policy.
He said the new policy of the current administration, of the Tinubu administration, is to kiss the bandits. Kiss the bandits is how he described it. He said they call it kinetic strategy. So the kinetic strategy for them is to basically give things to the King of Current said, El-Rufai doesn't pay bandits, only terrorists. There is a difference. Yeah. Look, when they call, if let me tell you something about El-Rufai. If this country is going to really go out and prosecute people who have done evil things in this country, the work will not be done if El-Rufai is not in the number. Okay, El-Rufai is a very wicked man. It goes without saying. Okay, Christians in Kaduna suffered under El-Rufai. They died in great numbers under. He oversaw it.
My position has always been the only repentant bandit is a dead one. Let's kill them all. Let's wipe them. Let's bomb them until they are reduced to nothing. And then the 5% that still want to be rehabilitated can be rehabilitated. You do not negotiate.
Do you see how the moron contradicted himself? So he's like, there's 5% amongst them that want to be rehabilitated, but most of them should be bombed. So if you bomb all of them if you say the only repentant terrorist or bandit is a dead one, yet there is 5% of them that you are willing to rehabilitate. You see, this is an example of him speaking from both sides of his mouth. But as much as that is happening, I want us to recognize that he says something that I believe is true. He says something that we should consider. This is that the possibility. Of course, this is just a claim. There's nothing he's saying to back it up. But he's saying this, and he's like, call the service chiefs themselves. Ask them if what I'm saying is a lie. And many of them have come out to deny this. Like, not just many of them, majorly the current governor of Kaduna has come out to deny what El-Rufai just said. But he's saying there's a federal policy of kiss the bandits. And we've seen reports like that. We've discussed of reports like that, especially from communities in Zamfara State, where bandits are paid. Sheikh Gumi has said that whenever he goes to go and talk with... Oh, I'm not even showing this thing where this is coming from. Sheikh Gumi has said that whenever he goes to talk with bandits, that's the sheikh of banditry and the sheikh of terrorism in Nigeria, Sheikh Gumi has said that whenever he goes to go and talk with these bandits, he's been escorted by military personnel. The police, they escort him. People, significant members of the army, they follow him. And we have seen footages of this. We've seen pictures of this. Okay, this is not something that is unfounded. We've seen pictures of this. The pictures of this meeting are everywhere. You see, when Sheikh Gumi go for this meeting, you see the Nigerian military personnel in the photo, in the picture. You see high-ranking police officers in the picture. So all this talk of it's not possible. I'm like, the Nigerian government will always release statements. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't make deals with terrorists. Yet when there's every picture that comes out about somebody in authority speaking or somebody's trying to negotiate with the terrorists, we see people that represent the government in the picture.
From a position of weakness, you don't empower your enemy. You don't give him money to go and buy more sophisticated weapons. That's why the insecurity problem has not gone away and will not go away as long as this policy continues. They can deceive, they can cover up, they can do propaganda, but those that live in Katsina, those that live in Zamfara, those that live in Kaduna, those that live in those states, they know what is happening.
Well, is that the reason why perhaps you think that there's a slowdown in the attack on schools and kidnaps that we've seen in Kaduna? The quiet we've seen in the Benegwari
there is no slowdown. I was governor for 8 years. I was governor of Kaduna State for 8 years. Only 3 schools were attacked in 8 years. Okay? This government has been around for 2 years. 3 schools have been attacked.
Oh, Erufai, don't lie. Only the schools. Are we measuring insecurity by how many schools we attacked? Is it only schools you are going to bring up that we attacked when you were governor? I mean, Kaduna-Abuja Expressway was one of the most dangerous places in Nigeria, one of the most dangerous roads in Nigeria. While you were governor, Erufai, while you were governor, you oversaw that. So please, miss us with that BS, please.
And they paid the bandits. They paid them ₦1 billion the first time the school was attacked and students abducted. They are paying bandits. They are apologizing to them. They are
finding this information about ₦1 billion being paid.
Look, let the governor or anyone come and deny. We have the evidence. When the time comes, we'll reveal everything. They are paying bandits. They are empowering bandits.
So yeah, that's the claim from Erufai, that the government has a policy of paying bandits and placating them and, appeasing them, essentially. That is the policy. So that is why when I look at this report of they were rescued, I have every reason to believe that that was probably not the case. That what probably happened was that they were not rescued. They were released. And then with regards to the report of 50 people, or maybe we shouldn't get to that. But while we are talking about that, ISWAP has kidnapped 13 persons in where was this now? While we are talking about the ones that we are released, there's still more that is being kidnapped. In Borno State, ISWAP abducts 13 female teenagers from Borno farm and one escaped. So probably it was 14 and one escaped, or it's now 12, but it was originally 13. But let's see the report to understand. According to Abdullahi, the victims were among those relocated to the relatively peaceful community of Musa, where they engage in communal farming to earn a living. Members of the Islamic State West African province have reportedly abducted several female teenagers in Askira Uba local government area of Borno State. The deputy speaker of the Borno State House of Assembly, Abdullahi, this person, confirmed the incident, stating that the victims were seized while working on their farm in Musa district, according to Daily Trust. Abdullahi, who represents this area, explained that 13 abducted girls aged between 15 and 20 have gone to the farm in this place to harvest crops when the assailants carried out the attack. He further noted that these two, Huyim and Musa, are both farming communities in the local government area, but residents of Huyim had been relocated to Musa by the government due to security challenges in the area. According to Abdullahi, the victims were among those relocated to the relatively peaceful community of Musa, where they engaged in communal farming to earn a living. One of the victims managed to escape and had been reunited with her family on Sunday morning, he said. But the other 12 victims, mostly between the age of 15 and 20 years, are still in the custody of the abductors, whose whereabouts remain unknown. Senator Mohammed Ali Undume, a member of the All Progressive Party who represents Borno South, urges security agencies to intensify effort to rescue the abducted teenagers safely. He also called on residents to continue praying for the victims' safety and to properly report any suspicious movement of terrorists in their community to the authorities. Mass abductions have plagued Nigeria for over a decade, with Boko Haram's infamous 2014 Chibok kidnaps, over 300, blah, 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 blah. So that is what we are seeing. That's the new report of new people. Not some abduction gets like media splash and some just go under the radar. And this is one of those abductions that will likely go under the radar if not that you're hearing it from me. You won't even know that people were abducted on Sunday. While we are talking about 38 people being released and 51 escaping, 13 in Borno State have been abducted by ISWAP. And it's funny how they say they don't know the location of these people, but the government, when they have the hands-on effect of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they could locate the bandits in Kwara State. But ISWAP kind of is hard to find. It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. These are the things that happen in Nigeria. You have to say, okay, what exactly is going on? this person said they've been battling to pass the Sharia law as the official constitution of Nigeria. Check last year what happened in the House of Assembly about the Islamization. I'm aware of the Islamization efforts in Nigeria, but I don't think it has kind of gotten to the point of them trying to constitutional. Of course, Sharia law is kind of is recognized in the constitution, but to make it the constitution, I've not heard of such, but I'll look into what you're saying. But beyond just that, we also have other things that you see from the government that make you also wonder what exactly is going on. This is reported from Sahara Reporters, who said local hunters who help security agencies tackle bandits in northern Nigeria face a 45-year jail term. Youth leaders seek justice. Right. In a statement issued on Monday and signed by Comrade Yahaya M. Abdullahi, the group expressed deep concern over Aljan's continued incarceration and the 45 years prison sentence he is currently suffering, an outcome that has sparked outrage among many residents and community leaders. A group under the aegis of the Arewa Youth Ambassador have called for the immediate and unconditional release of Musa Nura Aljan, a civilian widely praised across northern Nigeria for his role in assisting security agencies to combat banditry, kidnap, and armed criminal gangs. In the statement issued on Monday and signed by this person, the group expressed deep concern over Aljan's continued incarceration and the 45 years prison sentence he's currently serving, an outcome that has sparked outrage among many residents and community leaders. According to the group, Aljan spent years working closely with security operatives, gathering intelligence, tracking criminal hideouts, and helping arrest notorious suspects who have terrorized communities in several northern states. His activities, often carried out at great personal risk, reportedly contributed to the disruption of violent criminal network and the restoration of relatively peace in some of the hardest hit rural areas. In December 2019, Aljan reportedly hot down bandits in Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, apprehended some bandits, and recovered no fewer than 1,000 cattle believed to have been stolen around this road area of Kaduna State. Under the edges of Aljan's network, the local hunters reportedly went to this forest, known to be a hideout of the criminals who turned out to be well-known faces in the community bordering the highway. Aljan, who was described as an extraordinary robber catcher, also recovered 2 AK-47 and AK-49 rifle, double-barreled guns, and thousands of live bullets from the bandits. Aljan said the bandits tried to bribe him with 2 million to allow them to cross over the Kaduna Bridge with the cattle, according to a report by Daily Trust. Aljan is also known for opposing any dialogue between bandits and the government, reportedly stating that it is wrong for state governors to engage in talks with criminal groups. Here is again the accusation of governors talking with criminal groups and having deals with them. In my opinion, I think it is wrong for any governor to dialogue with bandits because they are not to be trusted. Let them hand over all their weapons and also release all people in their custody if they are really serious with the dialogue, he said. Aljan also said that he had been rescuing people and animals from kidnappers and bandits who visited a reign of terror in many states across the nation, according to reports by the Nigerian Tribune in December 2009. He further disclosed that all recovered animals were always handed over to their owners, noting that headsmen come from all over the northern region to identify their stolen animals. The National President, Peace Revival and Reconciliation Foundation of Nigeria, Pastor Yohana Buru, had reportedly called for a national award for Aljan and his people and called on wealthy individuals and organizations to support Aljan's effort in fighting against bandits. Group demand Aljan's release. In his statement on Monday, the Arewa Youth Ambassador noted bandits fear the name Aljan, not because he compromised with them, but because he confronted them. The group described Aljan as one of the North's bravest civilian contributors to the fight against insecurity. The group said Aljan's imprisonment has raised serious questions among citizens and stakeholders, especially after reports emerged suggest that his legal problem began shortly after assisting in the arrest of certain suspected bandits in Bauchi State. According to the group, local sources, community leaders, and individuals familiar with the case told the AYA that Aujan had handed over the arrested suspects along with weapons to the appropriate security operatives. However, the narrative reportedly shifted soon after, resulting in his arrest and subsequent conviction. Rather than being commended for his bravery, the narrative surrounding the incident reportedly shifted, the group stated. The same man who has spent years putting his life on the line was suddenly treated as a criminal. His prolonged detention has left many confused and deeply troubled. The group stressed that while it does not accuse any individual security institution, the circumstances surrounding the case demands urgent scrutiny. The group lamented that a man who risked his life to protect society is now languishing behind bars instead of being celebrated for his service. It is painful to see a man who saved lives and restored hope in communities now treated as a criminal. The statement noted, instead of being honored for these sacrifices, he's being silenced and forgotten. The group demanded the immediate and unconditional release of Musa Nuru Aujan, pending a full independent review of his case, a public inquiry into the circumstances leading to his arrest, prosecution and sentencing, prosecution for whistleblowers and civilian collaborators who assist security agencies in combating criminalities, and reform of legal processes affecting civilian partners who support anti-kidnapping and anti-banditry operations. AYA wants that Nigeria cannot afford a system in which citizens who put their life on the line to protect others end up being punished or abandoned. The North cannot remain silent when one of its bravest sons now suffer under questionable conditions. Position of authorities are temporal, but justice, fairness, and accountability are eternal, the group said. The group reaffirms its commitment to peace, justice, and promote protection for all patriotic citizens aiding national security efforts. So this is what we are hearing is happening to this guy, and we don't even get the details of why he was arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced to 45 years in prison. But this is what the community has to say about him and his effort in fighting bandits. And I guess the best way for the Nigerian government to reward that is to arrest him on probably some trumped-up charges, which we don't even know the details of. It's kind of like a shame that we don't get the official narrative of what exactly is the reason why Aujan is being held behind bars. We don't get that, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have loved to see that, to understand under what guise he has been sentenced. So this is kind of what we have in the country. And here is another one that I got. I'm just giving you instances why I don't trust that whatever happened in Kwara State is kind of like a rescue operation. Okay? I can't play this because this is being said in Hausa.
Idan ba gwamnati ta daure man wanda yake cikin daji ya ta'addanci.
This is being said in Hausa. And this is what it translates as. I swear to Almighty Allah that it is the government that is giving arms to us. Fulani don't know what gun is. We are only headsmen. Cows don't give birth to guns. I swear to Allah, we are on our own and the government supply AK-47 to us. I am not afraid to say the truth. So this is somebody who is a Fulani and who is saying this is what is happening. I swear to Almighty Allah that it's the government that is giving arms to us. Fulani don't know what gun is. We are only headsmen. Cows don't give birth to guns. I swear to Allah, we are on our own and the government supply AK-47 to us. I am not afraid to say the truth. Now, this I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what weight to place on this, but it's important that you should know. It is important that you should know about, just how the Nigerian government behave, right? And we have videos of bandits. You see the kind of ammunition these people have. And the question that you are left with is, who is funding these people? These people, who is funding them? How do they get their hand on this level of ammunition? Just look at this. I want us to look at this video and see what this bandits is. Look at what they are dealing with. Look at that. I don't even know what that is called. And these are bandits, by the way.
جوا غالس جوا غالس مرال فوق مرال فوق.
Right, these guys cannot afford better living condition, but somehow they can afford such kind of ammunition. So These are the kind of ammunition that is being used. These people cannot afford better living conditions. Look at how they look dilapidated. But yet they are rich in our arsenals. They are rich in ammunitions. Where are they getting this ammunition from? Who is sponsoring them? It's a very serious question that needs to be asked. Look at what we are dealing with. When we are talking about bandits. Look at what we are carrying.
Get down, جوا غالس جوا غالس مرال فوق مرال فوق يا شباب مرال فوق يا انا منصر مرال فوق مرالين فوق يا فوق ما ينو جوا غالس جوا بارا جوا مرال فوق اي مرال فوق يا شباب مراليون مرال فوق جوا خالص مرال فوق مرال جوا خالص جوا خالص.
I don't even know what they are saying. So this is what we let me see what's the So yeah, this is what we are dealing with. Here is another video of these bandits. Here is another one of these bandits. Here they are.
Do wickedness of our country now. Yes, leave us alone.
Here they are doing a TikTok live, just like every other normal person, you know. It's just normal for bandits to be doing TikTok live.
Yes. Yes. We are just human. Leave us alone.
Okay. Yes.
I beg now, leave us alone.
Yes,
Open your cameras. Open your cameras.
If I open my camera, she una go leave us alone.
Yes. On that.
Na lie. Say Allah, una go leave us.
Where are from?
I know here.
And yes, the government cannot track these people down. These people that have access to the internet with all the SIM card registration, whatever that they tell us to do in this country, and all that. With everything that the government say, oh, we are doing this to boost security, for online security, so it will be easy to track down kidnappers and bandits and, you know, reduce the insecurity in this country. You still have terrorists going on TikTok live, interacting with citizens just like it's every other normal human being. TikTok still allows their account. Interesting. Moving on. Here is one of the bandits, and do I have the news report? Let me see if I can pull up the news report. There's this one that I have. Where is it? Anyway, one of the bandits has reportedly said that now they are going to go after the government, essentially. All of them boldly have declared that their next target now is not just citizens, and it's now they are going to go after the government. Here is that report. We will kidnap President Tinubu in days ahead. Terrorist commander brags about abduction in Kebbi and Niger State. Okay. An alleged terrorist commander has issued new threats against Nigeria, declaring that his group will soon begin targeting military officers, state governors, and even President Bola Tinubu for abduction. In a video obtained by Sahara reporters, the armed militants wearing what appeared to be a Nigerian military jacket. Where did they get the Nigerian military jacket from? Only God knows, I guess. Boasted about a recent kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi and Niger State. The terrorists, whose identity was not immediately confirmed, said they are unfazed by recent arrests made by security forces. According to him, the Nigerian government has failed in its responsibility to protect citizens. Everyone has woken up. We kidnap school students in Kebbi State and Niger State. Next time, we'll be kidnapping Nigerian military officers and taking them to the forest, he said in the video. Pointing to the jacket he wore, he continued, look at the clothes I'm wearing. They belong to a soldier. Nigeria, in the days ahead, we will kidnap a governor. We will kidnap the president and others. The terrorists further claimed that Nigeria should place their hope in divine protection rather than the government, insisting that authorities could not guarantee safety. We are not concerned that they have arrested anyone. The government cannot secure you. You people should return to God to protect you, answer your wishes, and wipe the tears from your eyes, he said. He ended the recording by greeting his followers on social media, saying, yeah, he's greeting his followers on social media. Is that not amazing? He has followers on social media. He has fans. He's a fan. He has fans. He's a celebrity. He's an online celeb. Very soon he's going to be getting a sponsor from Black Rifle or something. He's running a podcast. He ended it by greeting his followers on social media, saying, no one among the big men can wipe your tears. You have woken up. I greet you all on social media. Have a pleasant day. On November 21st, 2025, Sahara reporters reported terrorists in the early hours of Friday morning stormed St. Mary Papiri Private Catholic Secondary School in the Agwara local government area of Niger State, abducting unspecified number of students and teachers. Multiple community sources who visited the school after the attack confirmed the invasion, describing it as a coordinated cooperation that lasted between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. According to Ahmed Abdullahi Rofia, the head of disaster and relief for the local government area, also confirmed the incident, along with Bello Gidi, media aide to the chairman of the local government. And speaking with Sahara reporters, Gidi said, yes, it's true that the bandits have kidnapped students and teachers at this school. He further revealed the scale of the attack, stating that the information that is reaching us is that they have kidnapped over 100 students and teachers. Also, it is a mixed school with boys and girls. The attack comes 5 days after bandits stormed the mega comprehensive girls secondary school in Kebbi State, abducted about 25 female students and killed at least one staff member. A school guard was also injured during the attack, which occurred around 5:52 a.m. The attackers invaded the school compound where the students were preparing for morning routine, launching their assault with sporadic gunfire. Sahara reporters also gathered that the gunmen not only adopted female students but also left a trail of fear and chaos in their wake. So, yep. This is what we are dealing with in the great country of Nigeria. So, yeah. Good news and very good news. Also, yeah, something that I want us to look at. I made a list of like instances where the Nigerian government had engaged in a negotiation with bandits. This is one of such. Sorry, what is happening? This is one of not this. This rather. Zamfara fragile peace. Communities negotiate with bandits amidst government's inaction. In a stark reflection of the deteriorating security situation in Nigeria's northwest community of Bengaga and Kawaya district in Anka local government area of Zamfara state, these people have taken the extraordinary step of negotiating directly with bandits to secure a semblance of peace, especially as the rain sets in and the farming period approaches. This is a report from May 21st of 2025, okay? So, This movement underscored the desperation of communities left vulnerable by the absence of effective government intervention. For nearly 3 weeks leading up to May 8, 2025, these communities have undergone, we are under siege. Bandits impose a blockade, preventing movement in and out of Bengega, shutting down its market and bringing economic activity to a standstill. The siege resulted in the kidnapping of dozens and the deaths of at least 13 people. Military convoy operates only once weekly. Without it, people risk being killed by bandits lying in wait. But these communities have decided to engage in negotiations with the bandits. This is one report. Here is another one. This is from Arab News. A foreign news outlet is even reporting on this. So it's no longer something that you say, oh, it's not well known. Nigerian state signed peace pact with criminal gangs. By criminal gangs, they mean bandits. And by bandits, of course, we know these are Islamic terrorists. Dozen bandit kingpins met with local officials to renounce violence with no ideological leaning. The bandits are motivated by financial gain, of course, because it's Arab News that is reporting it. As a mark of goodwill, the bandits surrendered weapons and released 17 hostages with the promise to free more people they were holding. Authorities in Nigeria Northwest Katsina State struck a peace deal at the weekend with criminal gangs to try to end years of violence, a government official said on Monday. Katsina is one of the several states in northwest and central Nigeria terrorized by criminal gangs that the locals refer to as bandits. The gangs raid villages, kill and adopt residents, as well as touch homes after looting them. The gang maintain camps in a huge forest straddling Zamfara, Katsina, and Kaduna State in the northwest region and Niger State in the country's central zone, and have carried out mass kidnapping of students from schools in recent years. On Saturday, a dozen kingpin met with local officials and community leaders in the town of Damusa, where they renounced violence and pledged to turn a new leaf. And Katsina State Internal Commissioner said there was a peace meeting between 12 bandits and the local communities leaders in this place, where the bandits renounced their criminal activities and show commitment to peace, of course. So you've seen all of that. You can already guess how the rest of this report goes. And this happened on the 16th of June in 2025. And as you can see, the bandits have repented. That is why more people have been kidnapped. Over 300 right now have been kidnapped in Niger State, and 25 have been kidnapped in Kebbi, and 13 have been, okay, that is Boko Haram or ISWAP. So let's not count them with the bandits. Okay, that's a different group, obviously. But as you can see, the bandits have repented. Okay, these people were genuine. You can see they've stopped. They've rejected their old ways and they've embraced a pact of peace. Okay, and things are looking better, as you can see from what Arab News is reporting. Here is another news report coming from Reuters, I guess. Nigeria village celebrated the report of kidnapped students. This is in 2024. The whole village of this area. Now, in this incident, he said the whole village of Kuringa ran towards the convoy of buses, shouting, "Our children are back," and Alhamdulillah, meaning thank you God, to welcome home more than 100 students and staff who were abducted this month in Nigeria Northwest. The army announced on Sunday that it rescued 137 hostages, 76 females and 61 males in the neighboring state of Zamfara, days before a deadline to pay a billion naira ransom. That is $767,000 for their release. That's before the deadline. Students described being marched through the forest for more than 2 weeks in an attempt to hide from authorities, having to sleep under trees, being fed half-cooked rice, and given only filthy water to drink. Even the bandits were hungry, said Amina Al-Hassan, one of the kidnapped students, talking through the window of a bus as it pulled into Kuringa. We used our dirty headscarf as sanitary pad. We were crying and praying every day. Tako Musa, one of the free students, said the bandits told them the government had paid the ransom and they could be released as a result. Keep that in mind. That is what one of the students said. That the kidnapper student, that the government have paid the ransom and they could be released as a result. But remember what he said here. If I read the headline. No, not here. The The army announced on Sunday that it has what? Rescued. Are you seeing why it is suspicious what the government is, that the government really rescued those people and there was this coordinated military campaign that led to their release? So take whatever the government is saying with a grain of, with a huge, in fact, with a with a pound of salt. Anyway, we don't know how much was paid, but they said the government had paid, he said. Earlier this week, Information Minister Mohammed Idris said no ransom has been paid. One security source said he saw 14 black bags, which he assumed contained the ransom money, being delivered to an area in Zamfara State where the students were held after their March 7 abduction. Relieved parents crowded around the bus to catch a glimpse of the children they thought they had lost. We had no hope of seeing our children again, said Yanusa Musa, whose 2 children were among those kidnapped. Yanusa called on the Nigerian government to deploy soldiers in the town and its surrounding to allow farmers to farm the land they had to abandon because of rampant insecurity. Abductions at Nigerian schools were first carried out, we already know when that happened, before it became a trade. But since then, criminal gangs without ideological affiliation have adopted the tactic to obtain ransom money. The kidnappings have become an almost daily occurrence, especially in northern Nigeria, tearing apart families and communities that must pool savings to pay ransom. Neither Nigerian presidency spokesperson nor information minister responded to requests for comment on whether a ransom has been paid in this instance. So that is the report. But the government, of course, have released it. We did not pay any ransom. This was definitely, an operation to rescue these hostages. We had, in fact, the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in the operation room backing orders and saying, "You go left, you go right." I was, at the front line. In fact, he was essentially carrying a gun to rescue these people. Of course, just like we had from TVC, which we read earlier. So these are things that you see and you begin to ask yourself. And this was done not by Buhari's administration, the past administration. This was done under the current administration. So these are the kind of things that, give you reason to question whether these people were actually rescued or if they were released. Here's another report that I think is interesting with regards to this, with the conversation about, paying of bandits. This is the news report. Say merchants of terror paying blood tax. Helpless communities sustain Nigeria's terrorism. Staring at the cloudy sky above the slumbering. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this a novel? One dry afternoon in November 2021, a 35-year-old wrapped 300 cash in a black polythene bag, sped up his bicycle as he headed towards the coven of armed bandits, arriving at Mashima, a deep forest housing the terrorists near the Niger Republic. He bowed his head, buried the money bag in his armpit, and stomped inside their enclave. Enveloped with fear, he delivered the cash to them, a second tranche payment of the protection levy imposed on his small community. Anyway, before we start reading this Shakespearean report that has been written here by the Premium Times, the point here, to summarize it, is that the investigation here reports that blood tax or protection levies are being given to armed bandits to secure a temporary resemblance of peace. This illicit payment, often amounting to millions of naira, fund the terrorist operation and expose the catastrophic failure of state security. Villages, mostly inhabited by poor farmers, comply because the government provides little to no protection. Failure to pay is met with brutal retaliation, including mass murder and abduction. For example, the Dada community paid 3 million to bandits after 6 kidnapped residents were murdered as punishment for delaying a previous levy. The system has bankrupted communities, forcing residents to sell their livestock or to go into debt, inadvertently sustaining the criminal ecosystem. The investigation highlights a stark legal paradox. Citizens must finance terror to survive, even though Nigerian law prohibits such payments. This normalization of forced taxation illustrates the bandits' rising power and their success in filling the governance vacuum in the country's rural area. So, that is what this report is trying to say. I just summarized it for all of us. All right. Here is another report that should let you question what exactly is happening with this so-called release. I'm bringing all of this to make us understand exactly when the government say, "Oh, we rescued them." What exactly did they do? Was it a rescue or was it a release? Were these people rescued or was ransom paid for their release? Now, the headlines say how Tinubu's Minister for State for Defense governed Nigeria's most insecure state. Mr. Matawale governed a state ravaged by terrorism. In his bid to make the state less insecure, he took decisions some considered controversial. So what are those controversial decisions? Last Wednesday, when President Bola Tinubu constituted his cabinet, he appointed the immediate past governor of Zamfara, Bello Matawale, as the Minister of State for Defense. This person's appointment has, however, raised a few eyebrows. During Mr. Matawale's 4-year tenure in Zamfara, the state was undoubtedly the most insecure in the country, and it still continues to be so even today. During the period, terror gangs, locally called bandits, held sway across the state, attacking communities, killing thousands of people, and adopting many more others in perhaps the largest kidnapping for ransom franchise in the history of the country. Though banditry, as the activity of these outlaws are described by the Nigerian media and by politicians, was rampant across the country's northwest region, the activities in Zamfara state during the governorship of this man who was the chief security officer of the state, was unparalleled. Though as governor, Mr. Matawale has no direct control over security agencies fighting the terrorists. He took some decisions some of his critics said may have exacerbated the crisis, including plausibly preventing security operatives from capturing the most ruthless terrorists that operated in the state. In 2022, Mr. Matawale, or the current special advisor, or whatever it is he's called, chief of, what is his position? Minister of State for Defense. As Minister of State for Defense. In 2022, this current Minister of State for Defense asked the people of the state to arm themselves and fight terrorists. Several analysts challenged his decision, calling it unwise. Giving access to citizens to acquire weapons means you are opening a new chapter of violence, an eye for an eye. It is not a decision informed by knowledge or reality of what is on the ground. By saying everyone should get a weapon, you are indirectly saying you cannot provide security of life and property. Anyway, that is ridiculous. But that is not what is, for me, this is a very good thing for the governor to do. I don't even understand why some people will have a problem with that, but there you are. There you have it. And some have, this is not the issue that I want to point out here. The one I want to point out is 2011. Okay, here it is. In October 2019, the governor set up a committee on armed banditry in the state. The committee was headed by a former Inspector General of Police. The committee reported that between 2011 to 2019, 6,000 people were killed in the state, the highest in Nigeria. The number of those killed that year was a whopping 221% increase from the previous year, when only 219 people were killed. Only is what they used to describe 219 people. In early 2020, Mr. Matawale decided to dialogue with terrorists. This is where I'm coming to. He decided to dialogue with terrorists. He explained that this would reduce attacks on community. He later announced that he had granted amnesty from prosecution to bandits who handed over their arms to the government in exchange for cattle. So they handed over their guns to the government and they were giving cattle. But further details about the amnesty was not made public. some of those notorious terror gangs in the state, such as those led by Bello Tuji, Alhaji, this person, and these other people, these are people that he had a peace agreement with. Now they are still operating. Many of them have said the peace accord lasted a year because in 2021, Mr. Matawale said he would no longer grant amnesty to terrorists, though he didn't give details of why the truce failed. The governor said the terrorists have returned to their old ways despite shocker. They've returned to their old ways despite the peace accord between the state and them, which he said made things difficult for the government. The terrorists said the state didn't fulfill its promise to them. Neither the terrorists nor the state government know what the exact pledges were, or stated what. Neither the terrorists nor the state government state what exactly the pledges were. From January to December 2022, the state witnessed a surge in attacks, partly blamed on the collapse of an amnesty deal with terrorists. And this person is currently the... What is that his position again? I keep forgetting. He's currently the Minister of State for Defense. Okay. You can see that he has a reputation in defending the nation. And also a reputation for giving bandits amnesty. So when you see all of this happening in the country, you ask yourself, what exactly happened? Was it a release or was it a rescue? Or is that a release what the Nigerian government is now calling a rescue? You know, these are questions that remain unanswered at the end of the day. So yeah, that is what we are dealing with. All right, we still have time. So let's look at last thing before we go. But let's see what some of us are saying in there. In the comments. Nothing much. Let me see how many people are even live. We have a very poor turnout, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. 25 will still ride. All right, lastly, let's look at this. Or maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. Because I don't want to keep us here for long. I want to keep the time of the live stream short because I am working on other things. I just started a second channel like I told us about in the last live stream. And I'm working on a video currently. Let me tell you guys what the video... I've posted a video on the channel today. You guys may be aware of it because I posted about it on my channel post, on my YouTube post. I talk about it. But I'm working on another video and I want to answer the question conclusively if there is a genocide going on in Nigeria. And what I'm going to do in that video, or what the video is going to do, is that we are going to outline instances of attacks in Nigeria and ask ourselves, okay, is this an example of genocide or not? And I think maybe not a conclusive case, but a sufficient enough case to say, okay, many of the attacks in this country, even if we cannot say that about all of them, we have sufficient evidence to establish a prima facie case that there is indeed genocide of Christians going on in Nigeria. Regardless of the number, regardless of reports or research, you know, these days every organization that have conducted studies on this have been they've come under, you know, unusual scrutiny, and everybody is trying to debunk them. Okay, so what my video is going to try to do is to, you know, I'm going to ignore the numbers, whether more Christians have been killed than Muslims. That is not going to be the focus. Whether it is more, whether it is less, that's not going to be focused. We are going to try and make a very modest claim and demonstrate how modest it is, the claim that there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Okay? We are going to do that, and you are going to see that indeed it is, like I said, is a very modest claim to make, and we are going to demonstrate it. We don't need to, you know, that there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria is not the same as saying that more Christians have been killed than Muslims. You can win that argument, right? You can win that argument, or maybe at least leave it up in a toss-up. Like we can't say for sure. I give you this report, you question the report. I bring open doors, you question open doors. I bring inter-society, you question inter-society. I bring truth reports, you criticize that one. I can bring all this and you say, oh, this report is flawed because it came from IPOB or it came from this organization with this bias, and we cannot really trust them because we don't even know the data set that they are dealing with. And the Nigerian government can just come out and make their own claims since everybody is making claims. We can argue over numbers from now till Jesus comes. So I'm not going to play that game in the new video. I think that game is not something anybody should dabble into. Is to hand over to those who want to distract, is to give them what they want, because they want to play the numbers game, because the goal of playing the numbers game is to distract from what exactly is happening. I think the simple claim is, let us look at instances of these attacks throughout the history of this country. I'm going to go as far back as since when Nigeria gained her independence. And I'll give instances and instances of various attacks, as many as a short video can contain. And the question we are going to ask is, does this constitute a genocide? And if it does, if the answer is yes, does it fit the definition of a genocide? If the answer is yes, then there is a genocide. I don't care if it is only 10 people that have been killed. Okay? So many people have reduced the definition of genocide to a numbers game. If it is not a large portion of people, then it is not genocide. That is ridiculous. That is not what the definition of genocide entails. Every sensible person, and any person who is honest with themselves, would say for a fact that what happened on October 7 is a genocide. There is no news outlet, there is no political commentator who is worth his salt or who understands what genocide is that would deny that what happened on October 7 is a genocidal act. Even though some stupid people will say it is freedom fighting. No, it is not. It was an act of genocide. And that just claimed the life of, let me not say just, but if you're going to do the numbers game, you have to use the word just, right? That claimed the life of 1,500 people at most. But the numbers we are dealing with, I mean, numbers that we can verify that happen in Nigeria, the numbers that we can say, okay, when these people attacked, these are the numbers that we are killed. Right? We're talking about verified figures that are reaching around 20,000. 20,000 people. Some of them, some instances, we have 2,000 people, some 300, some 400, some 500, some 700. Okay, we are going to be looking at these instances and ask ourselves, okay, in this particular situation, in this particular attack that claimed the life of this number of people, what do you describe as what is happening here? Is it a genocide or not? And we are going to compare, we are going to, look at the definition of genocide and look at these attacks and see if for a fact we can say categorically this is a genocide. And I think that is a better argument that can be made and can be won. Because at the end of the day, if you keep playing the numbers game, people are just going to keep saying, oh, where did you get your figures from? Where did you get your figures from? So let's not play the numbers game, because we live in a country where the government does not document anything. Nobody tries to keep records, because keeping records is going to expose incompetence. So why do that? So that's what the next video I'm going to talk about on my channel is going to be about. And I want you guys to go and subscribe to the channel. The link is already there. John has posted it in the live chat. You go to www.youtube.com/@blissofjihad. You go there, we have amazing stuff. Let me just give you guys an example of one of those amazing stuff. This is something that just went live today. Okay, this went live today. I won't be doing this often, but I just want to share, because I'm feeling good. This just went live today, right? What's up, everyone? So, if you are subscribed to the channel, you may have already seen this. So I'm just going to show you guys that, and then we'll be done with the live stream. So yeah, and I'm proud of this video, So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel where we read the news so you don't have to, because basically most news articles today read like a group project written at 3 a.m. by a student who didn't even read the assignment. Today's episode, Nicki Minaj went to the United Nations and gave a speech about Nigerians getting killed for their faith. Yes, the woman who gave us Anaconda is now giving us geopolitical advocacy. And she instantly triggered Rolling Stone, the BBC, and half of Twitter into a synchronized meltdown usually reserved for celebrity divorces. If you read the news, you would think she walked into the UN, slapped the diplomat, and declared herself the Queen of Wakanda. But what actually happened? Well, Nicki Minaj walked into the UN as if she was about to drop a diss track on global injustice. She stepped up, nervous, and basically said, "Hi, I'm here to do literally the bare minimum. Say murder is bad." She thanked Ambassador Waltz and Donald Trump, because when you want to ensure the internet detonates like a cheap firework, you say thank you and Trump in the same sentence. Then Nicki dropped this bar that actually makes sense.
Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are.
A beautiful line, inspirational, universal, also the greatest metaphor ever delivered by someone whose beefs are more popular than some of her songs. She talked about church attacks in Nigeria, people being killed, and pastors being abducted. And then she turned to her fans, the Babs. This is when I knew she was serious, because Nicki told the Babs,
"This isn't about taking sides."
Yes, when your fans share the same name with a feminist propaganda movie, they definitely need to be reminded that everything is not about politics. But then the media woke up. Rolling Stone read her speech and basically said, "Wrong, incorrect, delete, try again." They accused Nicki of spreading misleading information because a religious war is not happening in Nigeria. It is a resource dispute. This is just climate change. The bandits are just stressed about water rights. Rolling Stone's argument is basically, yes, churches are being attacked. Yes, people are being killed. Yes, pastors are being kidnapped. But these incidents are just squabbles over scarce land resources. It's nothing religious. Oh, absolutely. Nothing says resource conflict like interrupting choir practice with an AK-47. Rolling Stone could watch a terrorist kneel on the altar, shout, "All Christians must die," and they will still write, "Experts say this was likely a dispute over farmland." And then the BBC joined the chat. If Rolling Stone was irritated, the BBC was offended. They published an article basically crying, "Nicki Minaj supports contested Trump claim about Christians being persecuted in Nigeria." Yes, contested, because the idea that Christians in Nigeria are being targeted is just a narrative, a simplification. Then out of nowhere, the BBC says, remember her COVID vaccine tweet? Yes, the one about swollen testicles. Guys, we are talking about terrorism. Why are you mentioning a rapper's cousin's friend's left testicle? BBC readers didn't ask for that. The victims of the attack didn't ask for that. Even the testicles didn't ask for that. But just when you think the BBC can't derail the topic any harder, they bring up Cardi B. I mean, what does Nicki's feud with Cardi B have to do with Christians being murdered? Did the terrorists ask for a rap battle? This is only relevant to those who think geopolitics is just love and hip-hop with nukes. The BBC and Rolling Stone cite so-called analysts and the Nigerian government whose main hobby is denying anything that might trigger sanctions. But they conveniently forgot to check the numbers from people who actually track this stuff. According to Open Doors, an NGO that actually tracks persecution,
more Christians are killed in Nigeria than in all the other countries of the world combined.
That's not a resource dispute, that's a statistic that should terrify you. And here's the media's favorite but dumbest argument. Muslims are also victims, so Christians can be targeted. Imagine telling a jury, yes, the victim was stabbed 14 times, but other people in town got stabbed too, so clearly it wasn't personal. I mean, terrorists can want to steal land and eradicate Christianity. It's called multitasking. They are evil, not lazy. And speaking of misleading, here's a specific event the BBC tries to water down like cheap soup. This happened on Tuesday, November 18, 2025, in Kwara State. Terrorists stormed the church during a worship service on live stream, killed 3 worshippers, kidnapped the pastor and more, stole their belongings, terrorized the town for weeks. Schools are closed. The government does nothing. But the BBC sees all this and goes, yes, very tragic resource conflict, nothing too deep. Sir, they attacked worshippers in the church. What resource were they competing for? The choir? But here's where it gets ridiculously ironic. The BBC tries to discredit Nicki Minaj while the BBC itself literally doctored Trump's January 6th speech in editing. They cut it, rearranged it, made it say something it didn't, got caught, apologized, 2 editors resigned, and Trump threatened a lawsuit. But sure, Nicki Minaj is the one who needs credibility check, like she's testifying before Congress. Rolling Stone is no better. They quote ACLED and CFR like holy scripture, ignore open doors and inter-society, and act like the Nigerian government have never lied in its entire existence. Yes, the same Nigerian government that denies everything from inflation to oxygen. Meanwhile, the actual victims, still dead, still missing, still ignored. Nicki didn't lie. She didn't exaggerate. She didn't cause harm. She said what the media refused to say. Some people in Nigeria are dying because they are Christian. Period. You don't have to like Nicki Minaj. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You can think Super Freaky Girl is a masterpiece or a crime against creativity. But when the media spends more energy fact-checking a rapper's biography than they do investigating the murder of worshippers on a live stream, they aren't reporting the news. They are managing the narrative. Nicki Minaj said,
I will care.
Maybe the BBC should try doing the same. That's the video. Oh boy. What is happening? So many people are sending me messages. So yep, that is the video. And I want you guys to go check it out. All right, guys. It was fun hanging out with every one of us. I know my live streams are becoming shorter. It's what happens when you have so many things you ought to do. All right, guys. It was fun. Tomorrow I'm going to... There's this video I wanted us to react to today, but I believe that if I start it, it's going to make this live stream go longer than I want it to go. So I won't look at the video. We'll do that probably tomorrow. And by Friday, this video, the video that I described earlier will be out on the channel. I want you guys to subscribe and, go watch it. And I probably will not play it here. Because if I keep playing it here, then what's the point of you going there to go and subscribe? Somebody said I have respect for Nicki Minaj for recognizing the genocide. Yeah, she didn't even say, oh, there's a genocide. It's just people are being targeted. This is serious. This should not happen. People should not be persecuted for their faith. Essentially, that's what she said. So that is it. The next video I was going to, I have in mind, I don't know when I'll make that one. Maybe right after this one that I'm promising that I'll make, is to show how all the claims that are being made about the Nigerian government and the situation is true. There's also something that I want to talk about here. I think I should be reacting to this video. And here I am almost not reacting to it. Or should I react to it? What do I think? What do I think? Okay, let's look at this. This is from one of the minions of the current administration who went abroad to go and show himself.
With that. And I think the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling pretty good about Donald Trump's position.
Thank you very much. Senator, you said the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling good about Donald Trump. So I'm a Christian from Nigeria.
You're an expert.
1 out of 100 million Christians, very small sample size. I do not feel good about Donald Trump.
Congratulations. Well, we are not talking about you, sir. How will you feel good about Nigeria when the president is paying, is the person who is paying you? When you're paid by the current administration, in what world will you be okay with what Donald Trump is saying about Nigeria? You don't count in the grand scheme of anything. Okay, you are... This is somebody who's... this is JJ... what's that his name again? JJ what now? JJ Omojua. JJ Omojua. These are sycophants that surround themselves around the current administration. This is somebody who spent most of his life abroad. When I say sycophants, I mean sycophants of the worst kind. Shameless ones. But let me before I start telling you the kind of non-entity this human being is, let him demonstrate it to himself.
He called Nigeria a disgraced country.
Okay.
Frankly speaking, that's not so bad because he used to call us a shithole country. So it's a kind of improvement on disgraced countries is an improvement. Is there a better way, for instance, a decent way to offer help to someone? So if I said if I looked at all the shoes on this panel, and you guys are wearing nice suits, everybody is wearing nice suits, but there's a differentiation of shoes. The senator's shoe is different. So if I was your friend, after this panel, I would buy you a gift, a nice shoe to match up with your suit. I wouldn't have to say anything about the state of your shoes that made me buy you those shoes. Is there a way that powerful...
So this idiot's problem is, oh, Trump should... This is one of the arguments that I've seen that I feel this is an argument by very, very unserious people. When you want to identify somebody who is very unserious, they argue over statements like wordings. How was he properly worded? Should he have said Nigeria is a disgraced country? Okay, Omojuwa, Nigeria is not a disgraced country, and 300 girls are missing. Nigeria is not a disgrace. Over 300 students and teachers are missing currently. Nigeria is not a disgraced country, and for 16 years we have been fighting bandits. 16 years. Nigeria is not a disgraced country. And your problem is, why is he said? Why did he call us a disgraced country? And you are the one who is not happy with Trump's statement. There's some people who don't have an issue with it because we have, listen, Nigerians have said worse things about this country than Trump can imagine, than Trump can concoct. Okay, Nigerians have said worse things. Now, I'm not here going to say people should say that about their country or whatever. I would rather that we speak nice things about our country. We say good things about our country. But Nigerians themselves have said horrible things about this nation, more than Trump can ever concoct. So I don't understand this fight over wording, over framing, over should he have insulted the country. If you know Donald Trump, you know he doesn't care about how he talks about things. He's going to insult you, however, and then to go out there and be like, oh, you should have won. Well, how are you going to feel if I meet you and I insulted you before giving you nice shoes? If you don't want to collect the shoe, don't collect it now. Okay? And you're going to compare giving somebody a pair of shoes to helping to save people's lives, especially when you have an incompetent government, a government that is incompetent, and you are talking about now disgrace. Is Nigeria? If a different leadership is in the helm of affairs in this country, one that you do not agree with, will you not agree that the country is a disgraced country? You bloody sycophant.
Countries can help less powerful countries, poor countries, without doing it in the way that leaves them worse off. For instance, America went to Libya. Libya has a causative effect on the terrorism challenges that Nigeria and the Sahel is facing. I don't want to talk about the other places America went to. Let's just stick it to Nigeria. Since Donald Trump said what he said, for Nigerian Christians have been abducted in the church in the northwest of Nigeria.
Sure.
Muslim students have been abducted. I do not speak to the causation, but there's a correlation between...
And there is a moron that is talking. Yeah, Jesus Christ. What has any of this to do with Trump? I know there is that theory that is floating out there that these terrorists are going out attacking because of Trump said. In 2024, around this period, they were doing the same thing. You dumbass, you idiot. Haba, what kind of fool are you? What kind of moron are you? Was it not in 2024 last year during Christmas Eve that they had the attack in Plateau State? Was it not the same thing in 2023? Is it not around period like this that you have heightened insecurity in this country? What is wrong with this daft fool? Oh, it's Trump that made the statement. Now everybody, ISWAP just woke up from slumber. They were inactive. And all of a sudden, Trump spoke. What kind of fool are you? What kind of fool are you? What brand? What brand? Were you designed by Apple? Were you designed by Nokia? Were you designed by Samsung? What brand of moron are you? You go out there, you are the only black person there, so they might take what you are saying, put some weight on it. But everybody knows that you are a fool. You are a thick fool. What has any of this to do with anything? The correlation does not equal causation, but I need to bring it up because, if anything, this goes to show that Trump is right. If Trump called Nigeria a now disgraced country and then bandits went out and started robbing, what does that do? Does that mean that Trump was wrong in what he said, or does that show that he's right in what he was saying? But of course, when psychophancy have taken over your brain, when you have the brain rot of psychophancy, you cannot think straight. Very foolish human being. Very foolish human being. How can you see Nigeria? The problem with Nigerians like this is not that the country is a disgraced country, it's that they are shameless. It is shamelessness that is the problem. Is that somebody like this is extremely shameless. Very shameless. Shamelessness runs in his blood. This person, see, when oh God. Let me calm down. I mean, this live stream was going well. This live stream was going well. This live stream was going well until I decided to. I should have just, you know. There's something my pastor. Then when I was in school, I had a student pastor, and he said something that there's something he calls the gift of shame. Okay, there's something that he calls the gift of shame. Okay, when somebody does something disgraceful, okay, when they feel ashamed, that is one way you know that at least they recognize that what they are doing is shameful. And that gift of shame, the ability to feel shame, makes you realize, okay, what I'm doing is, or where I am at, or the situation I'm surrounded by, is something that is not good. Okay? Like when a woman goes to sleep with somebody that is not her husband, and then they do this walk of shame. It is called a walk of shame because they know they've done something shameful. At least there is that thing about them to recognize that what I'm doing is not dignified. You understand? It's called the gift of shame. The problem in this world is that I have come to realize that some people don't have it. They don't have that thing called the gift of shame. They don't have the ability to feel ashamed. And some of the advocates of the current administration in Nigeria, they don't have that ability. They cannot feel shame. These people literally don't have the ability to feel shame. They don't have the gift of shame. They don't have it. They cannot feel shame. That is how somebody can be this shameless. That is how somebody can be this shameless. To open their mouth. White people are watching you, Igbo people are watching you, in the Ocha, they are watching you, and you are disgracing your village. Disgracing yourself. Disgracing yourself without an ounce of shame. Without an ounce of shame. Shame on you. But then, you probably use shame to do makeup. When you wake up in the morning and you want to clean your face, you carry shame and rub it on. You feel it is good. It makes it boosts your aesthetics. You understand? When you want somebody who will design your clothes, the person has to be shame because you feel shame is a good fabric. You understand? If I say shame on you, you will embrace it with two hands because you think shame is a good thing. Like we always say in this country, you cannot shame the shameless. You don't have shame. No, you don't have shame. You don't have shame.
Between Donald Trump, from the point Donald Trump spoke about Nigeria's challenges and the escalation of terrorism. So, decency apart, there are rules of engagement. There's a global rules order. There's a rules-based global order. Is there a way to speak about Nigeria, first of all, in a respectful, decent way, not even just as president of America, but as a human being? And much more so as the president of the United States of America, that I will always respect as a person, and frankly speaking, Nigerians continue to respect generally. Also, is there a way to help Nigeria? Because, for instance, one of the reasons why we failed woefully as fighting terrorism was because despite having the money, despite having the intention and the motivation to buy weapons from America for so many years, we were denied. Eventually, we...
You know how stupid it is for this shameless fool to bring up Nigeria not being able to buy ammunition from the United States? Do you know how stupid it is to bring that up? That was under Obama. You moron. Obama did not insult Nigeria. Obama did not call Nigeria names. But Obama did not sell weapons to Nigeria. Trump called Nigeria a shithole country. Trump called Nigeria a now disgraced country, but he sold weapons to Nigeria. You did not point that out. Do you see the level of psychophancy we are dealing with? Why Trump in his first term was planning on designating Nigeria a country of particular concern, he was still selling weapons to your government. Obama did not do that. Obama did not insult you. Biden did not insult you either. But how many of them sold you weapons? The same Obama that did not insult you, you brought up Libya. Was it Trump that invaded that invaded Libya? But despite all the things Obama did, but at least he spoke nicely. When his Secretary of State John Kelly will come and visit, it was whether it was the Secretary of State or whatever position John Kelly was holding then. It was always nice and polite. But what did they do for your country? Shamelessness.
Got them, and for some of those weapons, they also told them where not to use those weapons. Yeah. So I'm just going to ask and sit down. Is there a way to decently help Nigeria without making...
The fool is looking for decent help. Whatever that means. The absolute fool is talking about decent help.
Things worse and without disrespecting Nigerian Christians and Muslims.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Great question. No doubt the answer to your question is certainly. And I want to address both things. First of all, the words do matter. They do. You were kind in suggesting, is there a way to do to some things and not needing, to make things worse by the wrong words? The right words help. A more delicate way of saying something is obviously better than a more brutal way. That said, at the end of the day, a lot of people have promised things to Nigeria and several African nations. And by the way, once again, I point to my colleagues who are two of the biggest advocates for our relationship with Africa. And I won't go into all the ways that they do that or that we do it together. But the actions do matter. A lot of people will say the right thing and do the wrong thing.
Exactly. They talk. They do bring back our girls and do nothing. But, when you are dealing with unseriousness, when you are dealing with the embodiment, you understand, the living, when unseriousness made flesh, when you are dealing with that, they spend hours. Should they have called Nigeria a now disgraced country? Should they have said guns are blazing? Should they have Should they have?
Other people will maybe say the wrong thing and mean to do the right thing. Is there a better way? Certainly. But one thing, your example is very specific and it's appropriate in your case. But you also touched on a larger issue. It's not just one country. It's not just one-on-one. There was an earlier panel, I forget which one, that got to the point of, and it might have even been Senator King, I don't remember, but one of the senators spoke to America's retreat. I think it might have been Tom Tillis, now I think of it, America's retreat from several areas, which has left them vulnerable to the predators, if you will, to China especially, and their predatory financing and behavior. There are lots of ways, and I think, for example, one of the areas where President Trump and I have disagreed quite openly is in the effective use of USAID. Those things need to be conformed, for sure. But when we talk about democracy, and I talk about the difference in the United States as being more self-governed, he is a reflection of the country. All of our democracies, democratically elected leaders are a reflection of their country. And that's the pastoral role they should play.
Because this is why Donald Trump is a better politician than all these other Western politicians that just use plenty of words. If it was Donald Trump that was sitting there, he was going to rip this guy to pieces. Oh my goodness, I trust Trump to give the right answer. It's going to make this guy look foolish. This is why the way people respect politicians that are straightforward, not these ones that come here and they are trying to you go straight and the person wants to disgrace before you even finish. You finish the person. Give him this is the kind of this kind of people. This is what they recognize when you before they finish. You finish them and tell them how ridiculous sounding they are and how how has the other people who have been talking nicely to them, what have they done for them? Words matter because anyway, I don't blame these people. I just want to show you some of the things that Nigerians. I want you to look at the quoted tweets of this so you can understand how even Nigerians are pointing it out. This is from Dr. Dio. He said, "You are a Nigerian Christian and you are mostly not a Christian in Nigeria," which is very important. This guy has spent most of his life in Canada. I'm very sure currently he does not live in the country. And you are definitely not one of the affected Christians in Nigeria that definitely felt good about Donald Trump's position. You put it fair. You put it fairly. You are simply to put it fairly. You are simply an APC fanboy who needs to continuously work for his pay. Whatever you said, you didn't say. Whatever you said, you didn't say out of scarce goodness of your heart. You are angry that Trump called Nigeria a disgraced country. Where do you think they learned it from? Could it be perhaps from people like you who insult Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as a sitting president and his wife likened one to a pig? Exactly. Where did they learn to insult Nigeria? Did they learn it from people like you? Were you not the ones who were insulting Nigeria when Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was president? Nigeria is not a disgraced country, but Buhari and Tinubu had to employ SANS to defend their WAEC certificate. Yes. We are ruled by leaders who had to employ lawyers to defend that they have they had high school certificate. Essentially, that's what WAEC is like for those who are in the West. They had to call lawyers to defend that they had high school certificate because without that, you cannot contest election in this country. These people didn't have it. So they had to hire lawyers to concoct arguments that somehow, miraculously, they had WAEC certificates, but could not find it. Nigeria is not a disgraced country, but a whole Attorney General of the Federation was murdered and his family never got justice. Nigeria is not a disgraced country, but the chance of becoming wealthy as a bandit well supersedes your chance of achieving same as an honest, law-abiding citizen. Scrap that. Replace becoming wealthy with staying alive. And when you finally started saying the plenty of nothing that you wanted to say in the video, you stopped mentioning Trump and started saying America. Of course, because your agenda and your first defense and love of Nigeria would not fly if you mentioned the name of the Democrat American president who did not sell weapons to Nigeria, and the Nigerian president who meant well but suffered the brunt of it. That is Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. You will not mention Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the person who wanted to buy weapons from the United States, and Barack Obama, who refused to sell to him. You will not mention that because you are deeply shameless. Shamelessness runs in your blood. It is stitched inside your chromosome. Passed down from father to son. It's a generational something. Shameless people. Of course, you didn't get to be Omojuwa by being stupid. You got to be Omojuwa by being an articulate beggar. I was not surprised when you and Bashi were at it. Not a shabby skill. Disgraceful but not shabby. You want to defend the honor of Nigeria. You start by not supporting druggies, credit card fraudsters, touts, lying and thieving lawyers, and terrorists for elections in Nigeria. Yes, that is how you start by defending the honor of the country. If you want to defend the honor of this country, how about you start by not supporting a president who is being accused of being a drug baron, and a vice president who is being accused of having ties with terrorists, and the cronies that they surround themselves with, the criminals that they are obviously surrounded by. How about you start from there before telling Trump what to say and what not to say? And here Kelechi said, Obama never called Nigeria a shithole / disgrace country, but he showed you just how shithole Nigeria is by restricting your weapons. It was Obama that did that. He didn't call you guys names. He didn't call Nigeria names. And you liked it then because he frustrated good lucky Billy Jonathan. Libya was courtesy of Obama, but you didn't mention Obama once. Yes, because you know if you mention Obama once, the people who you want their round of applause will not clap for you. Remember JJ, an operative of the current Nigerian administration. He blamed Trump as an escalation which is 100% false. He is in America, far from the violence. He demanded respect when the Nigerian government show none to their own citizen. Show none to their own citizen. There's somebody else whose statement I'm looking for. I think it's something Kalu. Hope I'll be able to find it. Not all these psycho fans that are busy saying, yeah, this is patriotism. There's somebody whose statement I'm looking for. Kalu. He wrote something amazing that I want to read, but I can't find it now. In response to this nonsense, I think I saw it earlier when I was scrolling through Twitter. Let me just search for him. Give me a second. Let me search for him. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, here it is. Don't engage me. Notice I didn't. Okay, no, this is somebody responding to Carlo. This is him responding to Carlo. I want to see the original post by Carlo. Where is it? Let me go through with that first one. I think when I go down, I'll be able to see the original post from Carlo. Oh, okay, here it is. So it is Trump's fault. Okay, Biden was polite. We are there killing and kidnapping in Nigeria under polite Biden. What about Obama? He didn't call Africa names. He only wanted everyone to marry everyone. Killing and kidnapping of Nigeria under the Obama administration. Omojuwa, you called your own president worse names than Trump. Which US president invaded Libya? Since Trump made his comments, Nigeria focused on fixing the insecurity have been overwhelming. Is that not a positive thing? Suddenly we are appointing ambassadors, explaining the issues and upping the fight. Is the polite US president who said killing in Nigeria was because of climate change? That is Biden, the polite US president. Before Trump's comment on March 7, 2024, in this town in Kaduna State, 287 students were abducted. On February 2028, that's this year, in Ngala, Borno State, 280 women and girls were abducted from an IDP education camp. This is just 2024, involving a high number of women and girls, and does not include the daily violence among against women and girls in Nigeria. Yet, when we have the opportunity to provide context, explain the nuance of Nigeria to a foreign audience, we embrace the tired mantra of Orange Man bad or Orange Man evil to please and pander to our European audience, who, by the way, invaded Libya. In the end, we do ourselves. And then this moron, I guess, responded to Carlo and said, you will like to miss the opportunity intentionally. You like to miss the point intentionally. It's your forte. It's why I never engage you, because I do not engage people who are never sincere about having sensible and respect. Oh, you fool. Please, you fool. Because it's rich coming from foolish people like you. My goodness, look in the mirror. It's exactly why you'd knock development in one part of the country and then celebrate a Julius Berger sign in another. Quite apt that you choose to reply the cable instead of do it on my tweet. That way you assume you will be free, you enjoy a free reign at misrepresenting the conversation. No, he did not, you moron. This was a conversation about democracy and decency. That's the context of the conversation. I never absolved Nigeria of any responsibility. I also didn't speak for all Nigerian Christians. Oh, you stupid. As in, if you are going to throw stones, the least you can do, moron, is not hide your hands. Not hide your hands. He said that Nigerians are happy with what Trump said. You said you are a Nigerian and you are a Christian. You did not point out that you are a Nigerian Christian abroad. You did not point that out. You did not point out that you're not, even if you are in Nigeria, you are not even going to be among the Christians being affected by the insecurity. Your lying lips, shameless lying lips, did not point it out. So let's not get into that. You spoke as a representative of Nigeria. You tried to do that. You implied it. Don't at least own it up. Don't do this nonsense. I also didn't speak for Nigeria. I made it clear that I'm one of a million. I was speaking for myself. I have the senator's contact. You can reach out to him to say it is fine to insult people before you offer them a hand. Oh, you stupid moron. When you get a chance to speak to an audience like that, badmouth your country, run it down, praise those who call it a shithole and disgraceful. It's your right as a Nigerian, but let's not misrepresent a video that couldn't speak more for itself. And whenever you reply to this, I agree. Because go back to paragraph 1. Cheers. Let me see what some Nigeria. Hello. Someone who called a sitting president of this country a pig. Yes, he called Goodlucky Billy Jonathan a pig on social media. Called the sitting president of the country, Nigeria, a pig. Now, that person, all of a sudden, now he's talking about decency. You see shamelessness. When I say some people are shameless, this is what I'm talking about. Very shameless. He called Goodlucky Billy Jonathan a pig. Now he wants to. Now the fool cannot even reflect for a second. Self-reflection is lost on him. They say, oh, okay, when you're talking about decency, people like me are indecent. We are the epitome of indecency. Let me listen to what Carlos said. Don't engage me. Notice I didn't tag you. I ask questions, respond to them for your audience. Ignore me. Who invaded Libya? We are these wholesome kidnappings of girls under President Biden and Obama. We are there wholesome kidnappings of girls under President Biden and Obama. Has the tweet from President Trump escalated the focus and intensity of the Nigerian government to take action? Clearly, the quality of the event affected you. So you were so awestruck, you missed the opportunity to educate your audience, including Republican senators, with a direct channel to Trump. When you held the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to account, were you badmouthing your government then? Young man, you were given a platform and you missed. Because you are a sycophant. That's why he missed. He missed on purpose. And when you missed on purpose, you did not miss. You were on target. Anyway, guys, I don't want to dabble into any of this, but here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This wasn't the video I wanted to respond to. There was a different video, and this one has got to be so worked up. I am insulting people's children. Oh, God, I thought today I was just going to be calm. It's going to be a calm, monotonous live stream without me getting worked up. But some people will not allow me. I blame them. I won't take personal responsibility for how I speak about these morons. I blame them. It's their fault. It's their fault that I called them stupid. Oh, God forgive me. God have mercy. Help me. Help me to not get worked up. Help me to stop insulting people. Stop calling them names. I try, Lord. I try. But these people, every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, or every other day at this point, they get on my nerves. You know I love this country. You know I love Nigeria. I want the best for this country. And I believe that this country is going to become better. But the morons that claim to be advocates for the country, that go out there, stand in front of Oyibo people and say things about this country, they get me worked up every single time. They get me worked up every single time. Lord, forgive me for insulting them. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. God deliver this nation from sycophants. Sycophants in this country is destroying the nation. Sycophants is one of the tools of the devil in Nigeria. Sycophants. But God will prevail. God will prevail at the end of the day. All these sycophants will be silenced. Okay? This is not the end for the country. Okay? We're not going to be swallowed up by sycophants who are Nigerians in diaspora. You know those diaspora Nigerians? They're the ones that like to talk. They like to be like, as a Nigerian, I would like to say, you're not even living in the country. So patriotic you left. The ones that go out there and lie to Igbo people. Whenever people like Tinubu are looking for people who will lie for them, these are Nigerians in diaspora. Quick and ready. Many of them don't even know where their village is located. But quick and ready to tell us, as a Nigerian, I would like to boldly say, as my family once lived in Jos, and I can categorically say, oh my goodness, you cannot categorically say anything. You know nothing. They've paid you, or you have an interest. And now the truth is far away from you. See, whatever you think Trump has said about Nigeria, whatever it is you have heard him say, I'm telling you it is nothing compared to what Nigerians have said about Nigeria. That's why Dr. Ayoda said, where did he learn to insult? Where did they learn to insult Nigeria from? Wasn't it Nigerians who taught the West how to insult this country? Because we insult the country more. And all of a sudden, this guy is talking about decency. Maybe he should have sat that one out and realized, okay, if you're talking about people who are decent, I am far from it. You call the president of this country a pig. If a country is being ruled by a pig, what does that make the country? Gracious, glorious, fantabulous. It's so unfortunate. Anyway, guys, it was fun hanging out with you guys. And at the end of the day, only God can save us. Only God can save me in particular from speaking anyhow. Even though with people that deserve to be spoken of anyhow. You just save me from these people and save me from my own self and my tendency to just go, lose it when it has to do with these people. And, well, that is it. God help us all. And I just want to say to everyone that in the light of all of this, all the things that are happening in the world, all the things that are happening in Nigeria, there is hope, okay? Let's not lose hope, okay? Salvation does not come, like I always say to all of us, salvation does not come from the east. The actual scriptures say elevation or promotion does not come from the east and from the west. But I also will say salvation also does not come from any of these places. It comes from above. God is the one who is going to save us. God is the one who knows how to save his own. God is the one who knows how to deliver his own. God is the one who knows how to rescue his own. And he has not abandoned his own. And we are his people, and he has not abandoned us. I want you to go with that confidence, okay? And to live your life with that confidence that God has not abandoned his people, despite the news. Okay, despite the news that we just looked at. And we've looked at quite a lot of them. Despite all of that, let not your heart be broken. Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Okay? In this world, you have tribulations, but be of good cheer. Okay? God has overcome it all. And we are victorious in Christ Jesus regardless. That is the message I want to leave with all of us, especially those amongst us who believe. If you don't, then I will encourage you to believe in this, because I don't know of anything else that can keep you steady in the midst of this kind of chaos. And if you don't have something that can keep you steady in the midst of chaos, what exactly do you have? So, this is what keeps me steady. Yes, people can get me annoyed, but at the end of the day, I am steady. I am deeply rooted. I am in this country. I am not afraid what these people can do unto me. That is why I'm here, my face open, telling you what is happening. Because at the end of the day, it is God that has us. And even if we lose, the highest we can lose in this world is our lives. That is the highest we can lose. But in eternity, we have so much to gain. So much to gain. Comfort one another with these words. And if it is not comforting to you, it's probably because your life is not hidden in Christ. And I invite you to such a life that is hidden in Christ. Come to Christ and have this confidence that this world can never take away from you. That security that this world can never take away from you. Okay? There is a security that this world can never take away from you. And it is found in Christ Jesus. So I invite you, come to him. Come to Christ. Embrace that security. And be free. And be safe. And be saved. All right, guys, it was fun. Thank you all. And until we meet again, have a very wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night.